YouTube? Welcome to the Eugene Tour YouTube channel. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. It's 2021, first day. And it's early morning. I'm out here in my garage. It's like 27 degrees. I got the heat going. So it should warm up in here pretty quick. Of course, the floor down low where I'm going to be probably still stay cold, but that's beside the point. But if you haven't subscribed, go down there, hit the subscription button. Hit the notification bell. Leave comments. Share, all that good stuff. Help my channel grow so I can become monetized and help pay for all these projects. But today's project is parking brake cables. And I'm going to put parking brake cables on these because these hang up all the time and then you end up dragging your back brakes whenever you use the parking brake. I almost never use it. I have an automatic, so I don't really need to use it too often. But they do need to function. And it's always nice to have parking brake cables. But one of the first things I'm going to have to do is to gain access to the parking brake handle and the cable underneath this cover down here. Woo, there we go. Sorry about that. My gimbal's giving me a little fit here. But anyway, here's the cover. And got to get the seat removed. I'm pretty sure I just got to remove the cushion, the 4 bolts underneath. That takes the seat out, and I can leave the tracks in place. If not, I'll remove the track too. It's 4 bolts to remove the seat, and 4 bolts to remove the track, so it ain't no big deal. But before I do that, I'm going to let it warm up in here. And while it's warming up, I'm going to go in the house and brush up on the factory service manual, see if it says anything special I need to know about the parking brake cables. So I'll be back here in a second. Hang tight. Okay, I'm in the house and I'm on my PC and I'm looking through the factory service manual via a CD. I have the hard copy, and a lot of times I prefer the CD because I can just, instead of going through all the pages, you can just look in the index, click on it, and it takes you to where you need to go. But I'm going to go over to parking brake. I'm glad I read this because there's things I didn't know about it. And it goes on about handling the cables, you know, don't damage them, all that stuff. And then it goes on how the park brake lever cable adjustment is automatic. Cycling the lever 3 times should result in parking brake lever movement of 3 to 5 notches when at 61 foot-pounds forces applied. And it goes on, this disabling the parking brake automatic adjuster is necessary to loosen the parking brake cables for maintenance of the parking brake system. Parking brake automatic adjuster must be enabled and cables adjusted tightened after maintenance has been completed. So, go on here, disable parking brake automatic adjuster. Remove driver seat cushion. Remove parking brake lever cover. Use a fabricated wire or offset screwdriver. Hold drive pole so that is disengaged from drive sector. Insert a nail or drift through the hole in the anchor plate to retain the drive pole in a disengaged position. Move the parking brake lever until it aligns with lock pole. Depress button on lever and move lever to down position. Visually inspect to see that the anchor plate is against the stud in the parking brake lever. If anchor plate is not against stud, repeat procedure is needed. Parking brake front cable can now be pulled to the rear to gain the slack necessary to perform parking brake maintenance. Okay, I'm going to stop right there and I'll go on to the diagrams here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, it has a diagram. Let's see if I can blow this up. There we go. And it shows you where to put the locally fabricated wire hook. I like that the way they say that. Plate anchor, it tells you what that is over here. And a nail, which you use to hold it in place once you pull that up, I guess. So this should be pretty easy, I hope. And after this, I think it's pretty just common sense of disconnecting the cables and routing them and all that stuff. But from here, I guess I'll just go out into the garage, and here's some more diagrams how the cables are routed. And I'll read through this some more. And I'll get to work on the cables. Just back out in the garage. Okay, I'm back out in the garage, and as you can see, I got everything printed out that I need. I'll just put that there for now. And I need to remove the seat cushion, which is pretty easy. If anyone hasn't ever removed their seat cushion, and I don't know if you guys can see under here or not, but there's a little clip under here. And let's see, maybe I can get up under there better. It's a clip right here. And I usually use a screwdriver with a notch and just push it down. And most of the time you don't even have to do that. In fact, I'm probably just wasting my time doing that. But you just push it in like that, and the seat cushion comes up. And that's all you have to do to get the seat cushion out. And I'm going to place that. I'm going to place it somewhere where I'm not going to damage anything. And then to remove the rest of the seat, there's 4 bolts, one here, there. I don't know if you can see it back there, and there. And that's all there is to it. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, the seat cushion is out, and I played around with this several times trying to figure out what the service manual meant, and I believe I got it, and I'm going to demonstrate it. You take a screwdriver or whatever, it says to use a wire, but you want to go like that, release it, and once you release it, you want to hold it released while rotating it like that. Once you get it there, it says to use a nail, but you want to use something, as far as I can figure out, something really thin. Get it in there, I'm using a thin drill bit. And then if you want, you can push down on this. Hopefully you can see that cable. I'll try and use the zoom feature in my software to get that out. But, just honestly believe it might be easier. There she goes, she's out. Now that being said, I haven't read through the rest of the service manual, but in my opinion, the easier thing to do, and would be to remove this whole, once you get it locked in position, remove the whole damn brake cable, parking brake assembly out of the way. And that'll just make it a lot easier to get to a nut. And let me see if I can move this camera. It's actually buried under the carpet. Let's see if I can get this down here. Buried under the carpet here, there's a nut that has to come off. And I sprayed, when I did my carpet in this car, I went ahead and soaked that with rust penetrant to so hopefully that will come loose real easy. If not, I'll take my Dremel motor tool and just remove the nut the hard way. But I'm going to go ahead and remove this altogether. Alright, here's where I'm at. I soaked that nut, hopefully you can see that, with some Aero coil. Soaked it, I heated it up with a heat gun. I didn't want to use a torch because it does bolt right into the fiberglass floor. So I heated it, soaked it, heated, soaked it. I got a pair of vice grips underneath grabbing the other side of the cable, and the nut will not come loose. Instead, the whole cable just spins. So what I did is I just cut this end of the cable off, and I'm going to go cut the rest of the cables and pull that cable out. And I'm going to try drilling through the center of it. If that doesn't work, I'll just have to take my tool to the cut-off tool to the nut itself and cut the nut, destroy the nut, and I'll have to source a new nut. Hopefully I can get it out, because I'll probably have to look on eBay for a new nut, and that'll be difficult to get. So let me get to the other side. I'll show you how I'm going to remove those cables. Okay, alright, here I am on the other side. Instead of disconnecting this, going through all the trouble, unloading this and disconnecting it, I am just going to take a cut-off wheel, or in this case, I'm just going to use my Dremel motor tool and cut that cable and then just pull it through. It just makes it easier. Either way, that cable's going in the trash. Now I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I got the majority of the cables out. I did end up cutting a lot of them with the Dremel motor tool. I hope you can see that. This is the type of disc I use, and that's hopefully you guys can see this. I use those Easy Lock cutoff kit. These things work really great. I mean, they're not as powerful as using, say, my cutoff 90-degree angle grinder with a cutoff wheel on it, but it's a lot more control, and I don't have to, and I'm less likely to cut into something that you don't want to, like a brake line or wiring or anything, and that's the reason I'm using that. And I don't know if you can see it or not, hopefully good, how corroded these cables are, and how bad shape they are, especially this one here. It's just completely shot. In fact, even with the cable cut, it's almost impossible to get this cable out of here. There it goes. I think it's going. It's stuck. But anyway, another thing is where the cable hooks right here, it's actually seized on, and if I didn't cut it, there's no way I'd be able to get it off. Now the remainder of this cable, which goes into the floor where that nut is seized, is still connected. I've been letting that soak, and I personally don't think it's going to come off. I'm going to probably have to destroy the nut, but I will give it a couple of more tries and see what I can do. And I'll try getting it again. If not, I might have to, like I said, drill through it or whatever. But I'll get to that here in a minute, and I'll let you know how that comes out. Okay, call it success, call it luck, call it what you will. The sucker is off. And one thing I was worried about, I did booger it up just a little, the nut, but it should be fine as far as I'm concerned. I ended up taking a drill bit. I had to start with a small drill bit, drill out the nylon center first, and I went in with this drill bit, and then I went in with this carbide tool and ground out the inside, and I just, call it, like I said, call it skill, call it luck, but I'm glad to get this sucker off. And now I can go ahead and start putting the new ones in. I will not put this nut back on. I'm going to have to soak it at least 24 hours in rust dissolve, something like, one of those rust dissolving solvents that I have, and clean it up and all that good stuff. But good news is I can get to putting the rest of the cables on. Hopefully that will be simple, and the nut does screw on fine, so I'll make sure I go under there and like I said, give this a good cleaning and let it soak 24 hours before I put it on. But looks like the rest of this should go together pretty good. Now one thing you don't want to do is these connectors here, I'll see if I can demonstrate it to you how they come off. Don't throw away these connectors. I believe it does come with a new center one here. And it has one connector on it, but it doesn't come with an extra connector. So save your old connectors, because you're probably going to use them. Hopefully the rest of this goes easy. The only one way to find out is to stick it in there and get it done, I guess. So here I go. Okay, here we go. We got the parking brake in. I still gotta soak that nut in evaporest over the overnight. So I'll take care of that, and then I'll just remove that parking brake cable and put it on. But I put it on, I tested it, and I'll get under here and show you the cables. Okay, here I am under the car. I got the new cables. Hopefully you guys can see that all here. And they're all in and connected and hooked up and whatnot. And it was pretty straightforward putting them in. It took a little finagling here and there, getting everything lined up, but it wasn't that bad. And that was pretty much the simple part compared to dealing with that one rusty nut. Anyone that works on cars, especially cars that have a lot of miles on them, though, know that that's usually the case. Corrosion is definitely the one thing that will screw you up. But I tested the parking brake, it works. Like I said, I'm just going to soak the nut that secures the cable on overnight in evaporest. And I'm probably going to take this parking brake cable off anyway to put that nut on. I'm going to give that a good cleaning and a good lubrication, make sure it's going good. It works, so that's what counts. And the brakes release, which is also a plus. And it's the next day, and I'm out in my garage, and everything's back together. The seats in the car, the brake levers all together, and the cover's on, and it works, which is really good. It releases real nice and all that stuff. I never did that before. And the only mistake I made is I should have just went ahead and removed the sill cover. I got to clean it up now. I got dirt on it, of course, and stuff. But I'll take care of that later. And I took the differential that I said was in the basement and got it out here in the garage. I'm going to have to get it up there in the car. That's going to be in another video. I want to thank everybody for watching, and if you made it this far, and I want to, like I said, thank everybody for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're subscribed, if you haven't subscribed, go down there, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell, and everyone have a happy 21/21. God bless.